Welcome to these introductory notes for Godot is a Woman, presented by Silent Faces Theatre Company, written by Josie Underwood, Jack Wakely and Cordelia Stevenson. It has been directed by Laura Killeen and Cordelia Stevenson. The production is touring venues around the UK from May to October 23. And these notes provide some brief information about the set, characters, costumes and settings for blind and partially sighted members of the audience. The performance lasts for 70 minutes with no interval, and please be aware that some pulsing and bright lights and the odd flash of lightning are used. Also, as there are often periods without dialogue and because a live-through description is not available, some of the action is pre-described here, which inevitably includes spoilers. The publicity tells us, in 1953, a man wrote a play about waiting. In 1988, he sued 5 women for trying to perform it. In 2001, Madonna released What It Feels Like for a Girl. It's 2023 and we're still waiting. Since Samuel Beckett wrote Waiting for Godot, he and his estate have notoriously challenged legally non-male companies that wish to perform it. The piece is a ship-smart interrogation of gender, authorial copyright, and the cultural significance of Madonna's 1989 album Like a Prayer. Playful, political, physical. Essentially, a discussion about Beckett's play, first performed in 1955. But half the population was excluded from being reflected in this existential parable that speaks for the whole of humanity. There is one simple set which remains throughout. We're in an abstract, barren place, set within the theatre's black box. The action takes place in front of a large rectangular backcloth, some 6 meters long and standing 5 meters high, resting on the theatre's black stage. The cloth is in muted, neutral shades, mottled beige and grey. The space is bare, except for a rock-like mound in a pale stone colour, which stands over to the left, just about large enough for 3 to sit on. Sprouting from behind the rock are a few dried-out hedgerow stems that stand to about head height, scorched and lifeless. A black bowler hat hooked over the one tallest stem. The only other object is a public telephone box on the right, made of wood now bleached by the sun. It faces us comprised of an up-ended rectangular box, like a large shoebox, attached to a pole on a base. It rises to just above head height, with the word telephone scored into the frame along its top. On the shelf inside sits a cream telephone with a long curly flex that dangles down. Along the front of the stage, 3 metal theatre lights stick up about half a metre, facing onto the action, left, centre and right. Any other props or items are brought on by the cast as needed, or produced from a jacket pocket, a carrot, a vegetable peeler, a large handkerchief. One item that descends slowly from on high, hooked to the end of a long rope, is an oversized copy of Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, with its simple childlike line drawing of leaves sprouting from a hand against a bare tree on a white background. As the book descends, it's accompanied by a disembodied choir of heavenly voices and flashes of lightning. As the lights rise, we discover 3 glum, bowler-hatted figures, half clown, half tramp, all white and of medium to thickening build and height. Though at the start some items of attire are yet to be put on, being placed on or near the rock, each will be similarly dressed in an off-white man's shirt, open at the neck and loosely tucked into baggy charcoal grey men's trousers tied up with a piece of string, a matching shapeless jacket, both with some patches and frayed hems and battered lace-up boots. The crowns of their bowler hats, jacket shoulders and boot toes are all dusted with grey ash, and a pat on the shoulder or top of the hat can send up a cloud. Cordelia is fuller of figure and bosomy, her dark bobbed hair tied back off her face. Josie stands a little taller than the others, her brown hair roughly secured back off her face. She sometimes assumes an air of authority, being the one to take the lead. Jack provides the only dash of colour in the otherwise neutral palette, with their distinctive bowl-cut hair, shaved short back and sides, with the longer top a bright cerise pink. Jack is non-binary and has the odd earring and is first seen without their trousers, exposing bare legs with a skull tattoo on the thigh and white socks. A black waistcoat hangs open. We join the trio waiting for the Beckett estate to answer their call about performance rights for Godot. They wait. And they wait. Taking it in turns to listen, receiver to their ear, until a message that they have moved up to 8th in the queue sends them into a little sideways shimmy that cracks through the Beckettian torpor into something completely different. They play a variety of characters. When dancers in a burlesque chorus line whooping it up to Madonna and Ariana Grande, they are caught in stronger dance floor light, with the space bathed in shafts of mauve light and pulsing electric blue light, as they burst into a dynamic, sexy dance routine. A false moustache each, and stuffing a padded sock down their crotch with swaggering laddish dance moves, is enough to transform them into men. When playing theatre historians/critics, listing all the productions that have been banned, the lights dim and the trio are caught in soft shafts of light from the metal lights. These cast their distorted shadows against the backcloth behind them. They face us and cluster together and mime as we hear the unseen voices. If, for example, Josie is speaking, she will stand, hands behind her back, with the one behind slipping their arms under her armpits, which become her arms, gesturing expansively when making a point. The three listen and react accordingly, with expressions of dismay, sadness, or confusion. Later in court, they become judge and jury in a travesty trial of the Beckett estate, interrogating such delicate issues as whether Vladimir's masculinity rests on a prostate problem, as he keeps having to nip off for a wee. Here the three alternate the roles with a speedy seamlessness of the judge, donning an oversized pale horsehair wig that partially obscures the face, the defence, representing the Beckett estate holding a black file, the prosecution holding a brown file, and various witnesses, including a copyright lawyer, black briefcase in hand. As a witness is called, the oversized copy of the original Waiting for Godot script descends from on high and hangs suspended in mid-air. They place a hand on it and swear an oath, as if on the Bible. When Cordelia takes on the role of Winnie in Beckett's play Happy Days, all lights snap out, leaving her lit only by the beam of a handheld ultraviolet torch. This illuminates only her face in an eerie electric purple, her teeth becoming brilliant white, reminiscent of the convention for another Beckett play, Not I, where only the actress's lips were illuminated in darkness. Other witnesses are two white-coated medical professionals, stethoscopes around their necks in white latex gloves, who refer to a handheld poster displaying an anatomical diagram of male reproductive organs. The three are closely connected throughout, their dialogue often overlapping and with little vocal differentiation, though Jack's voice is a little lower in pitch. They communicate with looks and gestures, playing off each other, bumbling about, not knowing what's coming next, with pulling faces and improvised antics as they wait, talk, think, dance, or swap hats, wearing bemused or pondering expressions. They face the world in the moment, often turning adversity into a game, quick to respond with a warm hug when it's all too much. Or they'll try to look cool, salvaging some dignity or mustering some vestiges of understanding, attempting to smarten themselves up, dust themselves down in their tatty downtrodden garb, but not quite managing it. They may stand with slouched shoulders, down in the mouth, looking disgruntled or pouting in hopelessness, or stand rigid, excruciatingly awkward with arms by their sides, brows furrowed, or simply stare off into some great void. A final exuberant image of the trio is dancing under a banner with the sign, "Silent Faces Win Feminism." They're in figure-hugging lycra leotards with corresponding coloured panels of either cerise pink and blue or green, which proudly and joyfully celebrates their different body shapes, be it curvy, flat-chested or bosomy. Cast and production credits. Josie, Josie Underwood. Jack, Jack Wakely. Cordelia, Cordelia Stevenson. Godot is a Woman has been co-written by Josie Underwood, Jack Wakely and Cordelia Stevenson. It has been directed by Laura Killeen and Cordelia Stevenson, with production management by Stella Kylides, technical stage management by Stella Kylides, Nikita Bala and Josie Shipp. Lighting design is by Joe Palmer, sound design by Ellie Isherwood, costume design by Rachel Gammon, and set design by Stella Kylides and Fran Gibson. It has been produced by Silent Faces and Grace Dixon, and these introductory notes were written and recorded by Joanna Myers. Silent Faces are a London and Liverpool-based female and non-binary-led theatre company. With collaboration at their core, they employ their unique combination of serious and silly to make physical, political theatre that tackles big issues. As an integrated company of neurodivergent, disabled and non-disabled artists, Silent Faces are passionate about diversity, equity, accessibility and representation.